it's a sort of an enormous landscape of sound. And it was those landscapes that interested me. I thought, I bet I could make those. And gradually, of course, that's what I started doing. But there was something else that interested me as well, which was that this kind of music that was starting to evolve told me different things about social organization. Now that sounds like a big step, so I have to go back a bit to talk about this. I mentioned earlier the classical orchestra. If you think about the social structure of an orchestra, you have God, then you have the composer, then you have the conductor, then you have the leader of the orchestra, then you have the section principals, lead violin, lead whatever they do, then you have the section sub-principals, then you have what are called, interestingly, the rank and file. That's a picture of how an orchestra, a classical orchestra works. I might have a picture of that. Hold on. I don't know whether this is going to work. Whoops. No, that's not going to work, is it? Hello. Oh, well, there's my little diagram of an orchestra. I can make that a bit clearer on a piece of paper. So you have God. Because, as you know, music is always inspired by the divine. And then you have the composer. And then you have the conductor. Then you have the section principals, leader of the orchestra, section principals, sub-principals, rank and file. And the last thing you have, and actually the least important thing in this picture, on the other side of the stage, you have the audience. And that line, the side of the stage, is a very important division. These people sitting here are so terrified that they daren't even cough. This person here is so powerful that they daren't even cough. If you look at this as a picture of power, all the power is up there. And the power diminishes all the way down that tree. If you look at it as a sort of information map, all the information goes in that direction. Nothing goes back up. It goes like that. If you look at it as an inspiration map, lots of inspiration up there. This, as a sort of map of inspired activity, this is where it all happens, in the top here. When you get down to here, these people are sitting still. They are not expected to contribute in any way at all, except by applauding at the end. Which is, by the way, what I want from you. Not quite yet. But, so this diagram, oh, there's some more paper, that's lucky. I thought I'd just been given one sheet of paper, sort of Soviet style, you know. So that diagram, that pyramid, there are really only 3 organizations in the world now that still use that as their operating structure. One is the orchestra. The next one is the church. And the last one is the army. Those are the only three organizations that still believe that that is a good way of working. And in a sense, with all of them, there's that same barrier, this barrier here. The barrier here is between the orchestra and the audience. Here it's the church and the congregation. And here it's the army and, what would it be? The victims. As a model of organization, that doesn't appeal to me very much. And it doesn't work very well. That's the other problem. It doesn't work. What interested me about pop music, particularly now I'm talking about the kind of pop music that I've been describing, pop music made in studios, made with the skills of a lot of people, is that this picture disappears. What you have instead is suddenly a field of possibilities. Of course, you have somebody who thinks of the song, and then you have other people who help arrange the song, then you have this person called the producer, then you have the engineer, then you have the people who design the instruments and the software, and so on and so on. So you end up with a very large group of people involved in making this kind of art, just as you do in cinema. You know, cinema involves huge numbers of people. I'm always amazed when I see the end of a film and the credits are nearly as long as the film was, you know. There's sort of 6,000 names come up in the film of people who went and got cupcakes during the production and so on. But this form of social organization is characteristic, I think, of 20th century art and 21st century as well. And I have a name for this. So in this picture here, sorry, that person, which is that person, we call the genius. What I call this situation is a scenius. Now, this is a word I invented, and it's meant to mean collective genius, collective intelligence. So, in fact, this word came to me really as a result of seeing an exhibition in London of Russian paintings from the early 20th century. It was a show at the Barbican, which is a big gallery in London. And I've always been interested in that period of painting, and I thought I knew a lot about it. I went to this exhibition and I must have seen works by at least 70 painters I'd never heard of before. Good paintings. 70 Russian paintings that I, who'd studied Russian painting, had never heard of. I can hear another voice. Is somebody else giving a lecture as well? I don't mind.